Hi Aries! Yay! I'm so happy to see you. It's like my little family away from family because I'm an Aries, you're an Aries. And so much happens during the week that doing these readings for you guys on YouTube really brings me back, helps me to get grounded, and I'm so happy. So welcome to your weekly reading. This is for the week of March 11th to March 17th. All right, so let's jump in. So I just want to say I got some new cards. Yay! So please do look in the box below if you enjoy seeing what cards I'm using, like I do, because I'm a card nerd. Anyway, so let's jump in. All right, so for the week of March 11th to March 17th, my dear Aries, I think that you're going to find yourself in new territory, so to speak. And of course, as you know is my style, let's show the cards so you can also use your own intuition. This is you. And I think that you've been following something for a little bit. Maybe it could differ based on who you are. It could be that you were following your intuition. Maybe you were fear-filled about it because it's like, what is this? Where am I going? You may have been following some advice. You may have been following some new lead, trying something new. But whatever it is, or maybe you drifted somewhere and you saw that and you thought, oh, how pretty, let me follow it, or whatever it is. I see that you have drifted into some new territory, and here you are, you find yourself in like just this new place. Because as I'm seeing this card, it's almost like you are arriving here, and now it's like, oh wow, there's a shore here. And you have no idea where those lights are, who's behind those lights, or what's going on. But it's just new, and you may find yourself there at this time. Now, it's a pretty scary experience from what I'm seeing here. And I feel that Archangel Michael is showing up in your reading, God bless, our reading, because I'm also an Aries, in our reading, to say that not only are we loved, but he's here all the time. He was here on the boat. He was here when you got the invitation. He was here when you were born. He was here before you were born, and you said, hey, I'm going to get that invitation, blah, blah, blah. He's here. This is not new news to him. So what he's saying is that this is you, Aries. It's like just like cute little kids when they get a little scared, they run to the adult and they hug them a little, and then they look back at whatever that thing is. It's like they just want to get into that aura of safety from which they can look. He's saying, hey, be not afraid. And may I interject here and just say that sometimes as I'm doing these things, I'm hearing music and such because I'm pretty clairaudient, right? And the song, and I'll add this, dear God, if I remember, let me write it down. The song that is playing that Archangel Michael wants to say to you, Aries, for this week is, oh my God, what is the song? I just had it. Hold on. In the morning. I can't remember the title, but anyway, it's a song by Vienna Teng. Anyway, just look below, okay? And we'll do our best on that. And it's beautiful. It starts off with little child, be not afraid. And then it goes on to describing a little scenario where a child may become afraid. During a thunderstorm, or lightning and thunderstorm, and talking about how the trees look like branches and all this, but he's pointing out that that same rain that falls and scares us actually brings beauty to the world. It allows nature to continue, and it's just a gorgeous song. So I'm going to add that song to the box below, and if you'd like it, you check it out. Anyway, let's get back. That was Archangel Michael's song for this week for you. And so he's saying, relax. Hey, we knew you were going to go through this. It's new to you now because maybe you've forgotten, because obviously you're a human and for whatever reason. So you're in new territory and you're finding yourself afraid because you don't recognize, look at this, you don't recognize where you are. But take a look at his wings here. You can see these colors. Look at these colors. He's saying that, listen, even though you don't even know what you're looking at yet, you find yourself somewhere, you feel it's so new, you don't know what this is, you don't know who's looking at you, you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know what's going on, it's just whatever, that he and your guides and everyone, they are already here. They've been here before you even know what you're looking at, and you're there, okay? He's there. They're there. I just want to put your mind to ease because me, as I'm gently here giving you this reading of love, by the way, yay, I have, let's say, at least two angels standing by me, at least. And I know when I do my work that I have a team around me, let's say 8 people, right? So let's add the 8 people plus me, that's 9. Then you, the viewer, that's 10. And at least 2 spirit beings who love you next to you, that's 11, that's 12. Imagine just you and I connecting over this video. Look at how many people are involved in it already. So the point is that if you're feeling scared wherever you are, whatever you're going through, I'm seeing drugs for some of you, okay? I'm hearing salts, bath salts. Earlier when I was pre-reading the cards, I saw mushrooms, okay? Be careful, all right? They're saying that they're there for you, they're there with you, and maybe some of you are wondering, or one of you, because it's so specific, I feel like you're wondering when I do these drugs, like mushrooms or some kind of hallucinogenics, but I just got bath salts. I don't know. I mean, last I heard somebody was chewing off a homeless guy's face, so I don't really know what that is about when you're on bath salts, but I feel like there's a question that you may be asking yourself, when I'm on those drugs, am I alone? Have I slipped out of radar for my my angels and my guides? Am I, like, what's going on? And am I safe and this and that? Or have I made myself, what's the word? Invisible to them, vulnerable, and am I alone? And their answer is no, okay? No, they're always there with you, okay? So let's just go with that. Now, if you are doing mind-altering drugs, God bless, this is not a PSA saying don't do that. Although, may I interject just a second? Don't do that, okay? I just want to put that out there. But again, free will is God's given choice for us. It's God's free will for us to have free will. But there are many reasons why you don't want to get involved in anything that takes you out of your mind, because I know a lot of people think that it's I'm hearing performance altering drugs. God bless. And then, obviously, we're thinking those, sorry, there's so much information coming. Whatever sports players use, there's a whole bunch of them. But I'm hearing Ritalin as well, things like that. Angels, okay, they're making this a PSA. So don't do it, because you don't know what you're getting into, number one. And number two, you don't know who's waiting right outside your aura to jump right in. Now, I'm telling you that is a real thing, and not to scare people, but be mindful. I mean, of all the Aries things that could come through, this is coming through for 1 or 2 of you, or a few of you watching, who are engaging in mind-altering things. I'm hearing mind-altering diseases. Okay, so a disease is pretty much dis-ease in the energy field, emotional field, all of that stuff. So when you introduce those elements, they're not, yeah, you can make the argument they're natural, but they're not natural to your energetic field. And what happens is, if you use it unaided by somebody who truly has the highest intentions, and it's bona fide, then what happens is you can definitely guide yourself, they're saying. And because they're saying, listen, we weren't in on that guidance. So that's some angels distancing themselves right now from somebody watching who is thinking, I was guided to this. Guys, let me let you know this right now. Look, I'm seeing 19 and 9. I can't explain what that means here, but I mean, I can't explain the connections because it's all more like an energetic thing. But what they're trying to say is, a lot of times we arrive places unaided. We think that, hey, my guide sent me here for whatever reason, or maybe I need to try ayahuasca or whatever because it just keeps popping up in my energy field. My friend talked about it, then this, then that. Be mindful, guys, that you are so powerful with your energy that what you put out there, what is emitted by you, can very well come to you because you're manifesting. But just because it's showing up in your environment and you don't know too much about, like, where it came from, like you don't remember putting it out there, doesn't mean it's being sent to you by spirit. Could be projected. It could be something that is projected by someone else. Could be something that is responding to your subconscious energy field. Sorry, not to like go off on a tangent, but it's not a tangent because angels want me to spend some time on it. So my point is, just because you see signs doesn't mean that's a sign that the spirit is endorsing you going there with that person, doing that drug, being in that environment, paying someone's rent. Okay? Okay? Be careful and be mindful. Just because it's a good thing to help somebody financially and all this, do not think that that's always the case. Sometimes the lesson for you is to let go of that. The lesson for you is to focus on you. Okay? So I just want to make that clear. So if you have questions, you know where to find me. Hit me up on that email address at the bottom. Of course, general questions, I'm here for you. But if it requires me doing a reading and jumping into your energy field with your permission, of course, then that's a reading and that's different. But either way, email address. Okay, so some of you, that was for a select few of you, Aries, be careful with the mind alterings, okay? And for the people who are having the mind altering drug experience and substance experience, within that subgroup of this reading, there's a smaller subgroup that the angels were trying to say they did not lead you here, okay? And another that was you, and just be mindful, okay? So take what resonates and release the rest, or let it hang around until you can see whether it is for you or not, okay? All right, so let's move on. Aries, big hug. Let's everybody hug it out. Hug. Let's continue because we're here learning together. God bless us. All right. So moving on. Yes. So again, my beloved Aries, you find yourself in this week in a situation that seems like all new territory for you. However that is for you, whether it's in a classroom environment, school, drugs, relationship, whatever it is. And the angels are saying, yes, we know you're scared. And yes, we have been with you all this time. We were here before you showed up. We knew you were coming based on your free will choices. For some of you, it was based on contract, but for some of you, it was based on free will choices. They also want you to remember that they are in everything. It's the holographic universe, right? I am a part of this universe, but within me, I can find the whole universe, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, good. They're showing that being said, you are being protected, okay? And when I'm seeing that, I'm seeing this, whoopsies, here, this is, whoopsies, okay, can you see, okay, there it is. This is you, okay? And this is this new land you find yourself. It's like, you see this, is this steam? Is this mist? Is the floor hot? Is it dirty? Are you going to sink in? We don't know. That's your guide. And they're saying that you're here and you may feel you're on the ground, but they're taking care of you. You are being protected here. Remember, they still respect your free will choices though, because you, on some soul level, your soul level is always looking for the best learning experience. Now, if you see something that's not good for you, and your conscious self here on the earth, so to speak, your consciousness feels compelled to do that, maybe your higher self knows that's not the best for you, but see that divergent situation. When we're in alignment, that means that this part of you, your conscious self, your lower self, if you will, has learned enough or experienced enough to no longer be attracted to that. It's more neutral, and it's more in alignment with what's good for it, okay? So if you ever find yourself going towards some kind of self-destructive behavior, because I'm definitely seeing self-destructive behavior in here for this week for some of you, if this reading resonates with you, that means that it's not that your higher self is sending you there, it's allowing you to go there because of your free will choice, because it needs to learn the lesson. And how does it know it needs to learn the lesson? Because you down here are still being attracted to it. But once you're no longer attracted to that, you're in alignment, certain parts of your reality as it is now, that it would be self-destructive, they no longer call out to you, okay? You don't care. It doesn't attract you anymore. So the best way to get clear of these situations and people, places, things, situations that do not serve you is to learn the lesson and grow out of it. Grow out of it, meaning elevate your consciousness to a vibration that no longer allows for that to permeate, okay? Or for you to even be visible, okay? So I'll add one more thing about that, because I feel like it's important to belabor this point this week. When you switch vibrations, it's just like you sitting in your car with the radio. You know, you're trying to get that radio going because the ride's kind of boring. Now, you're not going to hear all these stations. You're only going to hear the station that the tuner has picked up on. You have the ability to switch the tuner and tune into different stations. Once you tune out of one, you tune into something else. So us living our lives is merely about us having experiences, healing experiences that allow us to resolve those issues so that we can no longer want to listen to that channel. We tune into something else. And what does that look like on the ground here for us? It looks like you outgrowing a situation. It doesn't matter if you live next door to that person that you dated, if it was that bad. If you clean up your energy, clear out the energy, the physical and the non-physical, it gets to a point that you will never see that person again. They could be living right next door. But, you guys both come out of your apartment building at the same time, but when you turn left, just where the person is, they just happen to turn the corner. They never saw you. You didn't see them. That's how it is. That's what it means to be out of alignment with something. So when people say you're not in alignment with your highest good, that simply means thank you, angels. That simply means that you're not receiving information that is on your highest path because you're out of alignment. So you're actively missing those things. So I want to say that if some of you are in relationships or situations with friendships who are leading you to these things, once you grow yourself and as I'm saying that, I'm seeing her hand move like that too. Once you grow yourself and listen to your angels, you will no longer need to be here. You can elevate yourself, and you will no longer even run into these people anymore. They may try to call you, but you might see that they give up, or they get bored and they move on because you're no longer a vibrational match. Okay, so Aries, forgive me if I belabor the point, but it's not me. It's our loving field of love here. All right. Anyway, let's move on. So angels are saying you're protected, and they're trying to get you to elevate your consciousness. For some of you, it may have been an assessment. This may be an assessment, a test of some sort. If it hasn't happened, it may. And what would it be testing? It may be testing your, on the one hand, I'm hearing the words abilities. On another hand, it could be testing your fortitude. It could be testing your resolve. It could be testing your commitment to a certain ideal or person. Obviously people. Could be certain businesses, partnerships, relationships, friendships, but it could also be testing your commitment to ideals, especially for those of you working in the healing arts. I'm hearing you have to always make sure that you're aligned with your highest self, that you are committed to what it is that you set out to do that would help you in spirit be aligned. And so they throw those little tests in. I guess it's auditing. That's the case for some of you. Okay, so let's move on. I see that where you are right now with this territory, this new territory, literally or figuratively, is that it almost feels like a little timeout. You've been like given a timeout, or there was a timeout where you had to come and take care of this business. I don't think that it's going to be a long-term situation. It seems like a short-term situation. It's almost like it interrupted you and was like, it's like, again, for example, for those of you who were being under assessment by spirit, of course, spearheaded by your higher self. It's almost like you were sitting here working on this book and you're trying to write, you're trying to do something, and then they're like remix, and the sirens go off. You're like, what? You stand up, it's a fire drill. They're like, you have 60 minutes to complete these tasks. That's what I'm feeling. So it's like you find yourself here. Some of you may already feel like you're in it, or it's going to appear for you, and it's going to be like, what is this? Where is this coming from? And then you just have to go on your strength of character. It's almost like you find yourself alone in unknown territory, and what best way to test you or to teach you than to throw you into some unknown territory and see how you react. I think when you're done with that, when you get back, you're going to come back in here, and then you're going to weigh your results. How did you do? Better yet, how did I do, right? I think your angels and guides will be here with you, maybe on the other side of this desk. You're sitting here, you guys are looking over some things. This was a contracted test, they'll say. This is what we found, you did this, that, and whatever this is. This could be contracts, they remind me of the Glenn Ross leads. They could be some kind of like prize for you because you passed, or it could signify some paperwork that you need to like some improvements you need to make, whatever. Please, it's all for the sake of learning, and just don't be afraid, they're saying. Okay, They love you. Okay. All right. So let's continue on. So this was generally like the significators, if you like. And these I used to give a little bit more detail. God bless. Let me just take a quick sip of my drink. 1 second. Okay, thank you. Let's move on. So again, you find yourself here at this time. Again, it's this unfamiliar territory. Like, where am I? And I think some of you may feel like you were led there, right? And some of you went there by your own free will choices. But whatever it is, maybe some of you had expectations of something being there. See these at the bottom here? These are like little, like what he's holding. These are these. Excuse me. But the way that Spirit presents it on this card, it's almost like, it looks like these could be lights. Look at this one, looks like a garden light that just, sticks in the ground and should be lit. There's no light here. So you're just like, what am I looking at? Where am I? It's kind of like a scary feeling. And here's the angels again corresponding. They're here to give you a message. They're here to say that you have everything within you that you will need for this obstacle course. That's what I'm hearing. You have everything that you need for this. They're saying there's going to be a shadow that's cast over you, or you're going to cast a shadow, or just something. There's a shadowy aspect, and you're going to have to use your wherewithal, your heart, your mind, all of that, and any information that you carry to work through this situation. It's because you've walked through this clearing and you're like, huh? And so again, it's like this, taking this time out to do this thing. Look at these two people. I mean, these two trees or little whatevers. 1, 2. Those are your guides. They're hidden. The word surreptitiously hidden. They're hidden. And again, that goes back to Archangel Michael's message that this was always a probability. This was always within a realm of possibility, and it's come to be manifest. For those of you for whom this video resonates, they're saying that they're always here. They were here. They always will be. They are the universe. You are the universe. It's everything. You're all here in this one space and time. They're observing you too. So if you think you're alone, like this guy just thinks these are 2 rods / trees, but actually they're the guides taking a look, taking notes and whatnot, okay? So they're saying don't get tripped up. It's almost like this is the beginning of your obstacle course, and my message, or their message through me, my message is for you not to get tripped up. Their message is don't get tripped up. They're giving you, it's like on your mark, get set, go. And remember this, but don't get tripped up. Okay, like I'm seeing here. Don't forget that you have everything you need and you're good. Let me sharpen that. Okay, let's see. So I'm seeing here 1, 2, 3, 4. Obstacle course. Again, the obstacle course. Let's hold them all together, all these 3 together. It's almost like these are your obstacle courses. First, I think your first challenge, either somebody is going to approach you that will represent temptation at its finest, whether it's monetary, whether it's delusions of grandeur, like you are special, you can do this, we want you because we feel you have something to give others, whether it's love, whether it's sex, whether it's whatever. Okay, this person is your first teacher, and this person shows up at your doorstep, so to speak, and claiming to offer you something. They may not even need to claim to offer you something. Your projections may be so strong that you project things onto them to see, and I feel that for some of them, they may try to come closer to you, in fact, because look, he's wearing rubber boots, and I think this person is willing to do whatever it is that they think it takes to get close to you, but you have to hold your head. You know that you know that you have everything that you need to get through this. I'm hearing now, for some of you, this is related to a bank account, money. For some of you, this is related to an ex, lack of self-love, all of these things. So Aries, we are smart, damn it. We know what's up. We need to get ourselves in alignment. Just know what those lessons were and focus on it. When you align yourself with your highest self, what does that sound like? For example, let's use me. What does that sound like? Because I can completely relate to this situation. This sounds like people come and they say, oh, you're this, you're that. We can offer you this and that. You can have this and that. And then for any reader, you stop and you say, yes, I can totally go down that road. But hold on a second. I'm not here for that. My one purpose is to be a vessel through which communication comes through, whether or not I receive anything in return for it, right? And once you get in alignment with your higher self, you realize that that's where your real value lies. So be careful this week, Aries, whatever it is that is in your energy field that could be used against you, you may approach that lesson again. It's testing time. All right, I'm seeing that once you're done with that, there's another test of some sort. And what I'm seeing here, I don't know what the test is, it depends on you, but what I'm seeing here is this person, that's you, cute. This person they made it through that. But now look, it's almost like they're being asked to do some math thing or something. They're like, wait, what? 1, 2, 3, trying to calculate. And if they're on it, if they're on top of it, they'll realize, I don't need to look there. I need to look here. 1, 2. See those 2 strokes? I don't need to look at all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. No, I got one of these. It's larger than that. It's more finished with these, tops and bottoms. I'm already holding it. I have all this knowledge night and day that I've gone through. And look at this. This helmet is what I need. And the helmet has 2. I don't need to even be over here getting distracted counting all that. I have everything I need. Once you come to that realization, you move forward, okay? So this week, be mindful. I feel like I see some of you taking notes, and I'm that way. I'm like, yes, take notes just in case. And then your third obstacle course or third event or game that I'm seeing here, again, I don't know how it will manifest for you, but should you get to this point, look how he's like doing better. He's like coming towards the end here. And look at that sun. It's almost like that ball. And I don't know how to read this. It could be something as simple as recognizing where and when you're in alignment with your highest self. I'm seeing here that may call for you to look back on the recent past or look back on past actions. And Spirit isn't saying, they're not saying, how did you do? Did you do well? Did you? It's not that. They're looking to see, how do you think you did? It's one of those. So tell me, thank you for coming in today. Please have a seat. Tell me, how do you think you did in this situation? And then based on your answer, they're going to assess how much you can comprehend what it is that you went through. Did you learn the lesson? How self-reflective are you? Now, what does that mean? For example, like your boss brings you in, I'm an instructor, so your boss brings you in and they want to talk about your annual performance, whatever, in the classroom. And they had observed you during the classroom on 1 or 2 occasions, and they have feedback. But part of that is they always have to ask you how you think you did, right? Now, they may first of all say what they've observed and then ask you to respond or whatever. When it comes time for you to respond to what they've said, there are many different types of people. There are people who will be like, they probably didn't even hear what the person said because they're already up in arms. They're like, yeah, well, I don't really agree with the way that you saw it because I think that if these conditions were different, then blah, 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 blah. Or they might say, oh, I don't agree with the way you saw it because the way I see it is da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da. So there are people who are defensive. They missed the lesson altogether. Then there are some who are more open to learning. You don't want to be in this place where you put yourself down. Oh my God, you're so right. I'm terrible. I don't even know why I did that. I'm so sorry. I've got to do better, and I'm gonna. I don't even know if I deserve this. Don't be on that end. The way that what they're looking for is to see maturity in the way you approach it. When they ask you, hey, so tell me, this is what I say about your teaching, whatever. Now, how do you feel that you've done? Be objective. And if you want to talk about your feelings, you can be something as simple as like, you know what, it's really, I got to be honest, it's really hard to hear these things about me. And, because from where I was standing, it just seemed like I was doing some things right. But, you know, hearing you say this makes me realize I probably need to do a little bit more soul searching. I need to pay more attention to my lessons. I need to, whatever it is. And then you tell them, I think right at this time, based on what you said and what I've said and da da da, I think that you may be right, that I wasn't standing up for myself more in that situation. Maybe I needed to have more boundaries. I think that perhaps blah blah blah. However, I also feel that, you know, I give myself some credit because I was, you know, trying to do my best, but at the same time I was blinded by, you know, whatever it is that is your story. They're looking for that rationale. So if I had to summarize these three, it would be temptation. How do you do about with temptation? And this is them looking directly in your subconscious field. What is it that is tempting you? Drugs, lack of self-love, which would take us into all sorts of situations, greed, all of that stuff, right? Here, it would be like questioning your sense of self, I guess. Well, how can I distinguish it? It's like checking where you are, like how conscious you are. A conscious person, yes, will see this at first, but they won't just focus and spend all their time here. They're going to realize at some point, wait, I have everything I need, so let me take a look at myself. What do I have? And do I even need that? Like, they're able to be open to this synthesis, so to speak, okay? They're looking to see maybe some problem solving as well. Another thing, and the last thing that I just said, is looking at your ability to self-reflect, your ability to be conscious and aware of what you're doing. They're going in, guys. They're going in on Aries this week. And TBH, this one is already happening for me, and the struggle is real. And I'm hoping, I don't know, maybe it's happening so I can mention this. IDK, I don't know why anything happens, but that's what they're saying here, so maybe I gotta look out for that. Now, let's say that you do really well, super awesome, because you're Aries, boom, and you end up getting to the end of the obstacle course. You walk out after passing that last situation. You walk out and you see this chair sitting there, and you're like, oh yeah. So you go, you have a seat, right? Now, in this seat, you're like, okay, I'm sitting here. What's gonna happen? Is this where balloons fall? Does something explode? Does the devil come up and decapitate me? Do I get a teacher come out? Do I win a prize? It's almost like you're just sitting there kind of wondering, well, what's going on? And really, you're of two minds. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I just know there's this chair and I'm going to kick it and have a seat. Now, that being said, I think that what you will find is that you will receive something, okay? You will be given something. But here's a little bit of a warning. Even if you make it to there is no more test than making it to what you think is the finish line, only to find out, wait, that wasn't a finish line, it's still going on, right? So I feel that you will receive something. It might look really awesome. It could be money, it could be a new house, it could be, I don't know. And I could hear this collective sigh. Maybe that's my own sighing, like, oh, when is this over, right? It's craziness, this thing called life. But I think this is along your journey of ascension, so at some point you have to go through these, right? Why not now instead of next lifetime, right? Anyway, so I see that you will, whatever it is you're working on, you're doing, you might put this down to look at this thing. Maybe some of you may fall for this. Don't fall for it. Okay? Don't fall for it. Again, just because you crossed a finish line doesn't mean, I can just whatever. It could all be something, right? So you pick that thing up and you're looking at it, and maybe you've forgotten to do something or just whatnot. But as you're looking closer at that, you might see this. Okay? You might see, oh, holy crap, yes. And maybe that is another test in and of itself. Your ability to identify. Because there's a nice saying, a poem or whatever that I'd seen once in a therapist's office, and it said, of course I don't remember verbatim, but basically it's like a person walks down the street and they fall in this hole. Okay, the person, they get back out somehow. The person once again walks down the same street and they fall in the hole again because they don't see it. Then they walk down the same street, they fall in the hole again. They keep doing that until one day they're like, I'm gonna make sure I don't fall in that damn hole. But they go on the street again and they see the hole, but they fall in it again. And that keeps happening until they're like, okay, this time I'm going to really try hard to walk around the hole. They're going to walk down the street and they're really going to try again to walk around the hole. And this time they're going to get it. So they can walk down the street now and not go into the hole, even though it's hard. And they have to scale some buildings because they need to get out of the reach of this hole. But that's progress. Eventually, it'll get to the point where it dawns on them, wait a minute. I don't even need to be down this street. And soon they'll start to recognize there are other routes that they could take to get where they're going. And those routes, once they get on those routes, they'll see that those routes are actually better. There are no holes, whatever. And then eventually it gets to the point that they no longer even think about this anymore. Any route that they take no longer has holes on it. That's, I think, the definition of healing if you look at it. So here, it's almost like this is going to be like you're walking down the street, but you don't expect it, right? Are you going to fall down that hole again? If you can pass that, then if you can have the wherewithal to look closely and to say, is this truly what I want? Let me think about it. You might notice that it's not going to be. You might end up being trapped and going down some cycle. Now, true healing for you or true awareness for you would come at that moment where you're like, listen, I'm cool. And you're like, bye. And he's like, bye. I'm going to stay here instead and raise my glass to the sky and see what comes in. And I know that whatever comes in here, I have it within me. I have it within me to identify if it's going to throw me off. I have it within me to know that I don't even need this cup. Everything I have is inside of me. And I have it within me to assess what it is I'm getting into and how it relates to the past. This is all Spirit wants us to do, okay? So it's just awareness that they're tracking here. And once you get to this place where you surrender to the universe, you trust in your ability to handle what is thrown at you and to know that you are strong enough to say yes or no and that you're nobody's fool and that you won't be ensnared. Yeah, that's anyway, that's this week. Or at least that process is starting this week. You might find that to be the case. Okay? All right. Let's see what else. All right. So to clarify, thanks for hanging in here, guys. I mean, I used to like, my videos would just be like 6 minutes for some, 14 for some. But I just feel like I just give what Spirit says. And so forgive me if it's so long. God bless you, right? And me too. This week, you might find that you might be needing to cut some things out of your life. This card also shows me that for those of you, as you find yourself in this situation, listen, if you already cut those things out, maybe this problem is not, I mean, maybe you won't have such an issue. Maybe this test may not even materialize for you. Maybe, who knows, right? So there might be an opportunity to let something go. You may be in between two minds. Some of you may want to take a gamble on it, whatnot. In such case, if you do decide to take a gamble and to hold on to that thing or that situation, it may in fact well, let's put it this way. You may have a chance to cut something out, let's say a relationship or some kind of behavior, some kind of drugs or whatever. There might be, for example, if you're into the drugs, somebody might, maybe this reading or somebody else may approach you and say, hey, I work for this local clinic and, you know, we're doing this study. We want to see if we can help wean people off of blah, 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 blah. That would be the opportunity that will present itself. And maybe that's the first test, right? That will present itself to get you to let it go. If you choose to let it go, maybe that means that you will be fast forwarded to this space right here where you're like, oh, I don't need that because I, you know, whatever, I know it's not good for me. I don't want it, blah, 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 blah. But should you choose to, you know, it might, for some of you, it might be like a gamble, or you might be indecisive, you might still be attracted to it. If you do not let it go and you decide to move forward or to continue, because some of you are in this situation, you might find yourself on this obstacle course, okay? Look at this obstacle course. Doon, 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 doon. Now, see this rainbow? This is all for the sake of healing, okay? Either way, you will come out the other end here at some point. I'm seeing, look at this. I'm seeing mushrooms for some of you, some kind of hallucinogenic mushrooms and that rainbow. Listen, we get it, but you know, if you can get off of that, I'm seeing, they're saying, look at the juxtaposition between these two things and these two things. For those of you with the drug situation, whatever the drug situation is, prescription pills, hallucinogenics, any addiction. I'm seeing any addiction, working out addiction. Maybe one of you has a workout addiction. Just whatever it is. Yes, you can do that and, you know, follow the rainbow, so to speak. But they're trying to replace that and to see how amenable you are to the more healthy situation of being natural, they're saying. And look at how these two match. You match this. I know that you're like, well, these things are natural too, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because there's an herb growing somewhere, and yes, the earth provided it, and the earth also provides noxious things, right? It doesn't mean you're gonna like get on that because you don't know how it affects your body. It doesn't, it's, everybody has their own biodiversity, right? So anyway, so that's what I'm seeing there. All right, so what I'm seeing here, because these are the new cards, guys, take a look at the new cards. Oh my god, lovely. I've been waiting to get these and finally did. Okay, they are awesome because they look at the different divination tools and different things that people use, but obviously I'm using it right here to give you a reading. So what I'm seeing here for this week, Aries, is that you might step into, you might be inducted into, you might move into whatever, encounter a situation that's asking you to self-reflect. I think at one point this situation may seem interesting to you, you know, it may be just the right amount of attraction to get you there, but you know, you don't need to necessarily jump into that. You can cut it off at any time, is what I'm seeing. I see here also that should you, whatever, yes, so that's the situation. I'm seeing here to not forget to surround yourself with light, okay? Some of you, this is, again, for those of you who are doing mind altering, let's just go ahead and say aura altering substances as well. Be careful, because there might be holes in your aura and whatnot, making you just, yeah. So on some level, some of you may this week, regardless of your situation, you may feel like a moving target, like somebody could be watching you, like you could be easily corrupted and whatnot. But I want to show you this. God never gives a warning without showing you your power, because you're powerful. Again, you can sideswipe all of this stuff by making the right decisions. Look, this is this. Look at that aura, or that auric protection, golden light. And please feel free to look at my playlist. I think I named it Helpful Teachers. One of the videos is so great. She's great about how to invoke the divine golden light. Anyway, but that's you. That's you. You have the ability, the power, the wherewithal. You have that within you to burn so brightly that even if something got past this, they're not getting through to you. Like, please, next. Thank you, next, peace, right? Like, that's just what I feel. So this could be you. This is the end result where you acknowledge your sense of self, you hit that, you maintain that intention, you align yourself with your highest self. You know, just this should give you all the strength that you need. I should take a picture of that and make that my whatever thumbnail for this video, just so you can see it. That's you, okay? So anyway, Aries, God bless you. Thank you so much for hanging in there. Like 40 going on to 45 minutes soon. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. And of course, if you want to reach out to me, people do reach out to me after the readings, if only to share their experience or to let me know whether, like, if I'm on or not. Because honestly, I just pull this out of thin air, so I don't really know unless somebody says this works. Or if you have questions, just to clarify what I said in here. But again, if it does move into the realm of a personal reading, meaning I have to tap into your individual energy to give you, you know, specifics, then that would move into the reading territory, and I'll always let you know. You know, I keep it real. We Aries do all the time, okay? So anyway, thank you so much. You guys are great. A big hug from me to you, and let's get it. Get it. All right, bye.